Hey, this is Marco from Crypt Crawler. We're a Western Australian death metal band. We've got our new album, The Immortal Realm, coming out on Friday, September 13. Catch us all around Australia this September, October as we tour the 2024 Australian Immortality Tour.
Fantastic, Marco. How you doing tonight, brother?
Yeah, going well, thanks, man. And you?
Yeah, very, very good, mate. Very good. As you say, you'll be releasing your new album, The Immortal Realm, this Friday, September 13th. Like, you can't tell me it's a coincidence that you're dropping it on Friday the 13th.
Well, as an independent band, we get to choose whenever we want to drop it. And I saw that date in the calendar and I was like, that's the one.
It's actually funny as I was looking through it before, and like there's about 5 or 6 interviews that I've got, and everyone's dropped like all international from everywhere, drop it on the same day. And at first it didn't Jerry. I'm sitting there going like, why the fuck are so many bands dropping shit this Friday? And then it's like, look at the date, idiot.
I love my horror movies, so yep, Friday the 13th it is.
Sweet. So tell us a bit more about the Immortal Realm from a musical point of view then, bro, and sort of what you're going for with it.
So we've tried to take a step up from the previous album. It's what you expect from Crypt Crawler, except all the songs are punchier. We've stuck to 8 songs, no filler on the album. And I think it just the album as a whole is a little bit groovier, bit more melody, and just straight up punch to the face with all 8 tracks.
Mhm. But when you say like you take a step up from the last album, like do you sort of sit there and look back at the old albums and discuss what you could do better and how you could improve, or is it something you just do in the studio?
No, definitely. We learnt a few lessons from the previous album, Future Usurper, which there's some really great songs on that album, but there's a few songs which maybe were a bit of a filler track, or the album was padded out a bit too long, being at 46 minutes versus this new album, which is 33 minutes. So just wanted to make sure to straight to your face punch, and yeah, just look back on the songwriting and just try and make sure that we can really make everything so cohesive and release the best album possible. And we always learn from our past mistakes and bring them into the future to make everything that we do better.
Yeah. It doesn't really seem like much, eh? But like you talked about the album length, like you've gone from 46 minutes to 33, so it's only 13 minutes. But in the modern age when people's attention spans are just so low, like
Exactly.
that 13 minutes is a major difference.
Of course, like we look the Spotify plays on the album as well. Like you look at all those things, those analytics and whatnot, and you just see like the drop off as it goes down. Even though there's like the last track of Future Usurper is one of my favorites, like it doesn't get the attention it deserves in
Mm.
comparison to the first 30 minutes of the album. So that's what we've done with this album. Like we want to make sure that the album retains the listeners' attention span in, like you said, in this day and age.
Yeah. Now, you've released the singles A Higher Society, Shrine of Sacrifice, and The Immortal Realm. So are those three a good package deal of what to expect from the whole album, or are they just sort of just a bit of a
Yeah,
boost?
definitely. Like they're three of the strongest tracks, but there was reasons why we chose those particular tracks as well. We got another track, another music video, sorry, I mean, coming out this Friday along with the album, which is a even heavier song than the past three we just released. So yeah, like those the 3 tracks that we've actually got out at the moment. There's a nice blend of melody in there, there's like nice blend of progressiveness, and just yeah, brutality of what you'd expect from a death metal band.
Yeah. Now you mentioned the fact before that you guys are independent, so you just make all these calls yourself. But how much time goes into planning what songs you're going to release and like what sort of demographic they're going to cover and that sort of thing?
Let's just say that outside of full-time work, I'm constantly working on Crypt Crawler. So
Right.
yeah, a lot of work goes into this. I spend a lot of time trying to plan our moves, I guess, and figure out what we're trying to do. I get input from the rest of the band, but yeah, I pretty much try and uh, yeah, like have a plan, have a schedule going forward, and try and figure out what we're doing with every step that we take.
Yeah, cool. Now, the song Higher Society features a guest appearance from the legendary James Murphy from Death, Obituary, and others, mate. Like, that's a pretty big coup getting him on the song, bro. How did that come about?
I'm still blown away by the fact that we've got him on one of our songs. I remember when we first started this band, where we're looking at, we were like, oh, what sort of solo should this song have? Let's go look at this James Murphy solo. Like, he's a big influence on our band. The way it came about is an absolute legend of a fan that we have from Sydney, named Rael. He messaged us and said, "Hey, listen, I've just been speaking to James Murphy and I showed him your stuff." And I was just like, "What?" James Murphy ended up commenting on our Force Fed to the Dead music video. And I was just like, "Wow, like this is actually like legit. Like he actually likes our music." And Ray all pretty much said to us, "Look, I can get James to do a solo for you guys." And I was like, yes, yes, please." So it all came about pretty naturally, but it was a very welcome addition to the album.
I bet. Bet. Now, the press release says Crypt Crawler, with when they're describing your musical style anyway, they say you've got an old school sound with a modern approach. Like, would you agree with that assessment?
I do. We definitely have that 80s, 90s death metal sound. However, we do take a lot of influence from current day metal bands, whether they be death metal or whether they be groove metal or whatever, like all across the metal spectrum, we take all our influences in. Like Shrine of Sacrifice has a pretty uh what do you say? A little bit on the nose Lamb of God vibe with some of the riffing. Um Now they're not like necessarily like a full death metal band. Like they were like they started off very heavy, but not necessarily anymore. But we just took that essence, I guess, and injected it into the Crypt Crawler sound. And yeah, that's where a lot of the modern stuff comes in. We just take whatever influence we have and make it Crypt Crawler.
Yeah, cool. Now, the old school metal, like people are pretty passionate about it, pretty protective about it, mate. So like when you putting your own spin on that, like is it trial and error? You just sort of see what works, or do you sit down and sort of make a plan to see which direction you can go in? And how do you do that?
I think it all comes about quite naturally. We're always testing riffs and seeing what works. A lot of the time, like if someone plays a riff and someone else doesn't like it, like we either try and make it better or we sort of steer it to how it should be sounding in regards to our influences and what we think that Crypt Crawler should sound like. Now, I listen to metal pretty much constantly. Like I love all the old school metal stuff. I love modern day metal. I know how protective fans are over metal. And I completely understand it. And it's our goal to be a real fucking world-class metal band.
Good. Now you mentioned this before, bro, but you've got an Australian tour coming up starting in Sydney on September 20th. Then you hit Melbourne, Fremantle, Perth, Brisbane, and Gold Coast, and finish in Adelaide on October 26th. Like, it's a decent run of shows, mate. You're covering some territory.
We are. We love touring Australia. Like what can we say? Like, every show, like every time we've gone over east and gone outside of Perth, like we've had some amazing times. And being an independent band again, like I've mentioned before, we have to do all those plans ourselves. And if we want to look as professional as we are, and we want to come across to everywhere in Australia, like we need to do that ourselves and make it work. And it's exactly what we're doing. We're trying to make sure we get to everyone and everyone sees us and everyone gets to know Crypt Crawler.
Yeah, cool. Now, in between that, somewhere you've also got a hometown show with a little known band called Nile. Oh, that's pretty fucking exciting, bro.
I'm so stoked for that. Their new album is incredible and I cannot wait for that show.
Yeah. And how do you prepare yourself for something like that, man? Like fucking it's like you can't just kid yourself and say it's just another show.
Um, we, I guess we do have to say it's just another show. Like, we have to go into it every show has the same mentality. Like, even if we're playing to 50 people, we're playing to 500 people. You have to give those same fans the exact same respect they deserve. And going into a Nile show, there's going to be a lot more people watching us, and it's just going to be another Crypt Crawler show that we put our heart and soul into, to make sure that it's the best possible experience for the fans.
Yeah. Now I'm gonna have to bring this one up too, bro, because you've had a pretty good year, mate. Like back in May, you played Hammer Sonic over in Asia, mate. Like there's bands Lamb of God, Atrio, Cradle of Filth, Venom Inc., Beer Factory. Like what the fuck? How good was that?
That was incredible. wasn't even something that we were expecting to do this year. Just the message came through, and we were like, let's do it. We have to get on board. It was literally like just over 3 weeks before the festival. I think we got
Wow.
told, and we're like, yep, we have to make sure that everyone's in check to go. I had to one of our guitarists had to rush a passport through, and yeah, we made sure we got over there. And it was an incredible experience. It was blistering hot, but I wouldn't change an absolute thing for the world. It was incredible over there.
And how were those bigger bands to you, mate? Like, did they give you the time of day? Did they sort of respect the fact that you were there doing what you do, or
Yeah,
was
we
it?
definitely we got to hang out with Misery Index. We got to speak to Nervosa. Who else did we get to speak to? Lamb of God walked past us, which was pretty insane. Um, yeah, it was an awesome experience. Like as soon as we finished our set, we literally took 2 seconds to go backstage, dry off because it was sweltering on that stage, and then we sprinted over to see Suffocation side of stage, and that was again mind blowing.
Good on you, bro. Well deserved, my friend. But that's
Thank
all we
you.
got time for tonight. The new album, The Immortal Realm, is out this Friday, September 13th. I'd listened to it before this, mate, and it blew my fucking ears off. It's a nice slave of brutality, mate. Well done.